Welcome to the business of personal brand photography. My name is Paula Brennan, and if you haven't listened before, welcome, new friend. Where have you been? This is a podcast that is all about sharing the business side of personal brand photography. So yes, I sprinkle in some inspiration and stuff like that, but really what I want to help you to do is to operate your business in a much more succinct way so that you can have a lot more clients flowing easily through your business. Now, if you have been listening, welcome back. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to share today's topic with you because I'm sure that we've all had that point where we've reached a photo shoot with a client where they've rocked up with a bunch of clothes that were really difficult to shoot. Because let's face it, it can be really confronting to go through your wardrobe and try and get packed and get ready for a photo shoot. Stepping in front of a camera is one thing, but then trying to organize and plan your wardrobe around it can be something quite different. For a lot of people, getting dressed and dressing up is like fun. It's like play. It's an expression of who they are, and they really like run hard at it and they really enjoy it. But for quite a lot of the population, I find it's quite an overwhelming and it can be quite exposing almost. It can make you feel quite confronted to look into your wardrobe and maybe feel like you don't have a connection with those clothes anymore. There's a lot of things that this can bring up for your clients. And so, as I said, what I want to help you to do is to really strip away some of the stress for your clients and some of the stress for you as well if your clients are turning up unprepared or they don't bring enough of what you need. So let's have a look through a lens of what you can be doing, and let's break it down into 5 simple ways that you can make it easier for your clients to come prepared and to be styled, but not overly styled, for your personal brand photo shoot with them. So the first thing I want to say here is really want you to think about not trying to be too rigid and too tight with your clients and to be a little bit, I guess, general in the way that you're advising them to do things. I always say to people what I want them to do is to show up themselves. So the version of themselves that turns up to work with their clients, the version of themselves that turns up to those Zoom calls, the version of them that turns up to those meetings, plus 25%. Okay. So they understand that. They get that when I say that. And that kind of gives them a little bit of leeway so that they can be who they are. So in this, I want you to try and be as general as you can and sort of allow them to bring as much of them to the party as they can. But the second thing that I want you to really be aware of is to listen in for the cues that your clients are giving you, okay? So they will always tell you things like, I always wear black, or I'm not really a fan of wearing, too much corporate anymore. Or they might tell you, again, something like an insecurity, like they've recently put on weight. And so they're feeling a little bit distraught, or they're feeling a little bit, overwhelmed about the possibility of jumping in front of your lens. Okay, so it's important for you to listen to those cues and start taking notes. Now, people may not necessarily give you cues. So you might need to ask them questions around what do they wear when they go to certain activities with their work, So this is when you're interviewing them, they will be telling you things and you need to be digging deep on the kind of activities that they do on a day-to-day basis, whether it's in work or their own personal home routines. Now that is great because once you start asking the right questions, they'll be able to give you the right responses. So another thing that I find is really helpful is to be able to give your clients some context for the outfits that they're going to be wearing. So you might say something like, the outfits that you wear when you're on Zoom calls with your clients. Or you might say something like the kind of outfits that you'd wear when you're going for lunch with a girlfriend. Or what would you typically wear when you're going for a walk on the beach? Or, the outfits that you like to wear when you're going for a walk with the dog. You can give them context for things like that so that they can fill in the gaps themselves. And this allows them to be able to paint the picture for themselves and to go straight to their wardrobe, and they've got the specific context for the outfit. So rather than sort of giving them visuals on outfits, it helps for them to be able to fill in the gaps. And what I find with this is that it means that they're not feeling like they need to go and shop. They need to go and buy all new outfits that just don't feel congruent to who they are. Remember, we don't want your clients to be dressing up and feeling like they're not the version of themselves that turns up to the photo shoots. So giving them the context rather than telling them the specific outfit is really helpful. Now, the last thing that I like to do for my clients, and this is really, again, an empathetic kind of sympathetic, it's a kind of supportive role that you want to be playing, is that I want to give them permission to just be themselves. Okay? Now, I always say to people, look, you most likely have everything that you already need for this photo shoot sitting in your wardrobe right now. And I'm giving you permission to just go and take what you've already got and bring it out. Now, you might be sick of the outfit, but nobody else is because they don't get to see you in it as much as you do. So it's totally fine if you've got that favorite dress that you've been wearing for the last 3 years. It's totally fine that that makes an appearance at your photo shoot. Now, listen to that kind of language because that's really giving her permission to just be herself. And I really want you to think about this in the way that you're coaching your clients to get ready for their photo shoot. Because as I said at the start, we're not about helping our clients to be a version of themselves that they're not. What we want to try and do is in one day, create a series of photos for them that doesn't look like it's all taken in the one day, but it looks like them. It feels like them. It feels authentic to who they are, and it feels exactly how they show up in their real life. Now, I did tell you to be taking notes throughout your conversation with them as well. And this is really about giving them permission to be themselves and by wrapping it up and telling them back and recapping everything that you've said. And I think if you can do that and you can do it in such a way that you are listening to what they are telling you rather than you vomiting information onto them and telling them what you want, that give and take of being listening in, of letting them know that you've heard them and then delivering back to them what they've told you and giving them confidence that what they've got is enough and who they are is enough and the clothing that they've got is enough and that they don't need to go shopping, I think you are going to have a lot more confident of a client on your hands. She's going to rock up to that photo shoot feeling super confident with the outfits that she's got, and it's going to be one less thing that she's going to have to worry or stress about. Now, I know that you might have been coming to this episode looking for specific styling advice. Now, I could rattle off a bunch of different things about the kind of fits that I like to use and the kind of patterns and all of that and the colors that I like to photograph, but I'm not a stylist. So I didn't want to go into that realm. What I wanted to do was help you to feel more comfortable and confident about preparing your clients so that they feel more comfortable and confident too. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can keep up to date with more training just like this as it's coming your way. And if you like the idea of learning more with me, you can always look into joining with me into my tribe inside of the membership. There is a link below so that you can check that out. And I'll look forward to catching you in the next training video.
When you're so salty, I'll still think about it.
We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show.